What's up, everybody? How's it going? We back again with another episode, Father and the Son, 50 Years of Hip Hop, episode 6, where we celebrate hip hop, 50 years, 2023. And this, for me, is out of all the episodes we've done, this is the most special one thus far, in my opinion. This is our first woman guest of the show, but more importantly than that, this is a person who's had a pivotal impact on my career since moving to LA in 2017. Whether it's her platform, be a part of video shoots, being on songs, being on artwork, whatever I've needed from her, this woman has come through time and time again. So I definitely want to start the show off by giving her her flowers, Miss Tyler Khimani of Eargasmic Media.
Thank you guys. Thank you for
having
me.
Women run the world, rule the world.
Yes.
Tyler is here, baby.
Yes. Thank you guys for having me.
Good to see you.
Yes,
Good to see you guys. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm on the other side of the whole interviewing thing right now. I'm being interviewed.
Right. So we're gonna dig in. Tell us about 20 years. No, I'm just teasing.
Let's get into
it. But you're multi-talented, so on Bryce's last record, King Diamond, I saw you in the video. I saw you do the outro. Like, how did that all come about, man? Tell me about that.
I did several videos for several other artists. So like sometimes they reach out, like Bryce reached out and was like, "Hey, can you be a part of the music video?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'd love to do it." And then I do voiceover acting.
Oh, okay.
And I'm on several different artists' albums or cussing them out or something, doing something crazy. So, they hit me up and be like,
"If you want to get cursed out, this
call me,
Hit her up.
They hit me up and be like, "Hey, I got this sound just like you. I just need you to do it like this."
Yeah.
But Bryce, was letting me listen to some of his music, and he was just like, I have some of my homegirls on some of these tracks, and I would love for you to be on one. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'll lend my voice to you for sure. But yeah, I've known Bryce for some time now. I really love what he does with his artwork. I really love how he's very consistent. I love the music, the message in his music, and I love how he's very authentic to himself. So I'm always supporting artists that are trying to, continue to climb the ladder. And I love that when I pour into him, he pours into me. So, whenever I need Bryce, he would definitely show up. Okay. And so vice versa. So
that's a beautiful thing. I mean, and now that I'm listening to you, you do have a very distinct cadence to your voice that lends to, like you said, voiceovers. And at the end of that track, I'm going to ask you this. You were like, I want a man that, did you find all that? You guys go listen to King Diamond.
Hey, Seaside is the song.
Yeah, Seaside.
Check it out.
Seaside
Did you find that man yet? Or
I haven't found it yet.
Okay.
Still single.
Hey,
I'm still single, okay?
We're going to speak into existence.
She put it out there.
Yeah, I did. I did put it out there.
And what's funny about that, Pops, you don't even know this, but what's so funny about the Seaside video, right? We had, in the video, so we Seaside, we at the beach, right? And there's shots where we're holding these glasses, like wine glasses.
Yeah,
right?
I remember that.
And she was on my head because if you notice in the video, I have a wine glass, I think a red wine glass, and she has a champagne glass.
Yes.
So I'm like, 2 champagne flutes.
I'm like, Bryce, why didn't you tell me you needed glasses for this shot? I would have got glasses for you. They're not matching. And he's like, what? Ain't nobody gonna pay attention. I said, you pay attention to detail. I said, this is why women need to be on TV. Women pay attention to detail. Men may not, but like a woman might be watching the video and be like, she holding a champagne glass and he holding a wine glass. Like, what is this? So I was like, yeah, no. So I think we were able to switch it out.
I love it.
No, we still use it, but I feel like that's like one of my most viewed videos, so it works. So if you watch it, if you seen the champagne and wine glass, and you notice that, shout out to you.
She's like, what's up with the glasses?
Yes,
man?
I wasn't even thinking when she said it, I'm like, damn, you're right.
He was so nonchalant. He was like, what? Like, they're not even gonna pay attention to this. We have to do a toast. I say, you're doing a toast in a wine glass. Like this is
there are people on the internet. They got everybody on social media. There are people on social media that do videos. There's a guy who just did a video talking about movie scenes that miss things like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was a scene in Belly where Nas hands a chain to a little dude, and then the next scene Nas has on that same chain. So it's like, what do you do? Take the chain back?
Yes. Yes, I'm one of those people that like look and be like, that scene wasn't Correct.
Like,
What's going on?
That's dope. So that was just, but that's like you said, that's just a testament to like the attention to detail that you have, and just being a part of the vision. Some people are a part of the vision, but they won't add to it. They will just do whatever you want. She's somebody that's always kind of like added her 2 cents and her input to always value. So that is definitely appreciated. And you know, we're on a hip hop show, so you being a Black woman in the hip hop space, what's your opinion on like the current state of like especially female rap and hip hop?
I feel like it's kind of starting to get a little oversaturated.
Oversaturated.
I feel like there's definitely some gems in women hip hop. I feel like there's a lot of gems that are kind of overlooked sometimes. And I kind of feel like with mainstream women hip hop, they're trying to select the same type of vibe. And of course, the record labels, they kind of do the same thing across the board with everybody. Somebody makes a hit and it works for them. They're trying to replicate it.
Yeah, right.
I do like that the girls are making the hits this summer. I will say that. I don't know where the men were. They were asleep. The girls are making the hits this summer. Yes. They definitely made the hits this summer. I will say they are like putting putting themselves out there, making it be known that women are in hip hop. I love to see it, whether it be in music or even behind the scenes. I'm seeing a lot of women come up even in the business side of it all, which I love to see because, like I said, women are very meticulous when it comes to detail. We're always there to support people that we really care for. Will really show up and show out for people. So I love to see that women are starting to be more in the forefront of the business side of hip hop because it's needed. Like you can tell when there's an event and there's no women on there. Like you can totally see it. Like
you have mismatched glasses.
Mismatched.
Hey, shout out to the women. But like events wise, anything I do now, I have to have women as part of it because you're right. The stuff that we just nonchalant about or just don't think about, they think about. You guys think about a lot. So
even like the hospitality side of it all, like women are very like on point when it comes to that, making sure the guests feel okay, making sure the guests feel welcome. Like Maya, shout outs to her studio, Fruition Creative Studios. When I go there, like she's got the water bottle set out. She's talking to the guests. She's making sure we're comfortable. Whether I rent that studio all the time, she still is very professional, makes you feel comfortable, make sure everything is laid out for you. The behind the scenes shots she does are great. So I think that the women in hip hop are great. I just don't want to see it oversaturated with BS, like the male side of it all. And I feel like it's getting there, but at the same time, I feel like we can. What
do you mean by the BS?
Like some hip hop music is whack. I'm not gonna lie, it's whack. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just whack.
I don't get it. I don't get the concept. I guess you're creating, expressing yourself in a creative way. But some of it's just BS. Like it's very whack. And there's some women artists that are out there just putting out BS. I'm sorry, or like putting out TikTok songs, and it's like I guess social media also comes into play with that. But I feel like we can get a grip on that. But whatever.
So what do you to that point? What do you think about the criticism from some about women using sex to sell their music, right? Like, is it is it a double standard?
I feel like
Biggie did a song years ago, sleeping with an R&B, and then Nicki Minaj just put out that same song talking about all the men she wants to sleep with. Then we had WAP a couple summers ago that was mainstream. So what do you think about
you got Sexy Red?
Sexy Red, now.
That's crazy. I personally feel like it's a double standard because we've had Uncle Luke. We didn't have, Too Short, Mystical. We didn't have so many acts of men, have this sexualized music. And now the women are coming out, my pussy, my booty all around, And I get it. It's a lot sometimes, but I feel like we can't, say oh, y'all sexualizing yourself. Y'all been sexualizing women for I don't know how long. So now the fact that the women are now flipping the script and doing it themselves, it's like, oh,
we don't hear that.
But it's like this is what hip hop has bred over these years. Like now we have the women, and doing it, and I feel like it's a double standard. We can't necessarily be like, oh, y'all doing too much.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I see that perspective. It's difficult for me because I'm a father with a girl.
Right.
So, but I agree with everything you said. I mean, hip hop has been criticized for a long time of being very misogynistic. Men talking about what they have, how many people they sleep with.
For sure.
That's been there forever. So it's like you said, it's that tension right there for me because I'm like, when it gets towards the kids, right?
When it gets towards the kids of it too.
For grown people, like when Too Short and Luke were out, the only thing I would push back on sometimes with people is like when Too Short and Luke were out and whoever else that was doing that type of music, it wasn't on the radio. It wasn't mainstream. Now it's the social media and the internet.
Right.
Anybody has access to it, but we had to I had to.
I don't know, because to the window, to the wall was on the radio for sure. That was on the radio for sure.
We was like 11, 12 listening to that.
Yeah, I was grown by then, so thank you for reminding me of that.
But it's true, like it wasn't on the radio, and I feel like with social media, like you see it all the time. And TikTok, you got the little sound clips, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like it's different. Like back then, you had to have like the secret mixtapes or something
in order to get it.
In order to get it or hear it, or your parents had to play, and you like listening, like, well, I'm not supposed to hear this, but now you can literally like find it anywhere. So I think it's the different in access to it. Which is kind of hard for the children because you do have children on TikTok. Singing all the songs and not supposed to be singing.
They knowing it word for word too.
Word for word, and it's different from when we were growing up. Like, granted, we were singing songs that we wasn't supposed to be singing, but it wasn't like on social media.
It wasn't on social media. We didn't see it.
We're not recording it to post to our friends, you know. So it's a totally different theme. So I totally get when parents are like, hip hop is different now, and
different lane.
Yeah, I get it.
And the thing about I always push back on my generation on that. And his grandfather used to say this. He was like, sometimes people forget, like, you didn't get good, you just got old.
Right.
Meaning the fact that you try to forget about what you listened to or what you did when you were younger and you want to criticize. So to your point, we were listening to Luke, Too Short. Before that, back in the 60s, they had Millie Jackson, Dolomite, like all these people talking about. So it always existed. It's just, to me, it's more mainstream. I'm at an elementary school. I worked in schools for a number of years, teaching kids how to eat healthy, and we did like an event, and I'll never forget, there was a DJ, and he played Bodak Yellow, whatever, with Cardi B, and the kids, like, second grade, they know all the words, they know the curse words, and they're not even thinking, like, this is just what they listen to.
Yeah, for sure. Right. And but to your point, too, like, going back to the original question, I hear a lot of, women who, in defense of, female rap and the content, it's like it's empowering for them because they've never been in the space to be able to say what they want to say, what they want to really feel. That's always been a man's thing in this society that we live in. And I understand that. And then also for us as men, I feel like if that's not what you want to listen to, just don't listen to it. Like you don't have to talk down on it or say X, Y, and Z. Just don't listen to it. It may not be for you. Right. A lot of that stuff is not for me. I don't listen to it. Right. But I see the value in allowing women to have their voices and be able to speak up and really say how they feel. It's important.
I will say I wish that it was more. I feel like there's a lot of women that don't just talk about that stuff that should get their flowers. Like I feel like there has Rhapsody. She's been on the scene for a minute, and like
she's one of my favorites.
People are like, oh, women hip hop is the same thing, but it's like there's so many women that don't talk about that are great, but they don't get the recognition because the record labels are listening for
sex sales
of the raunchiness, which kind of sucks. But every time somebody brings up that argument, I give them a list of females that are like women that are rapping totally different. You know,
she's at the top of my list as far as like just not just a woman, but just overall artist. Period. Talent wise.
Yeah.
But to your point, they don't get pushed to the forefront.
Yeah, Kamaya. She was just talking about that too. I love her.
Kamaya,
she's amazing, and she has a wide range of songs. Like she has her songs that make you feel good. She got her raunchy songs. But she's not, I guess, quote unquote, the record label marketable, woman or whatever. And I feel like she should be way higher than what she is too.
So it's all about what you consume, what you look at. Like I feel like a lot of these conversations, like you said, for every conversation, they're like, oh, it need to be more artists. If they're there, y'all don't want to go listen to them. You don't want to go find them because it's easy just to go with what's mainstream, what everybody else is listening to. You can't complain about it if you're not actually taking the effort to go seek out these people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And speaking to that, it's a perfect segue of what you've been able to do with your platform, Eargasmic Media. You know, been around for years now. I want to know, like, what inspired you to start this, to highlight creatives in that space? That's a selfless space that takes a lot of time and effort. So what inspired you to start it?
Oh my God, who keeps bringing my do not disturb barrier?
Hey, we said before the episode, phone on silent.
Sorry. It's on do not disturb. Okay, that's so weird. Anyway, I grew up in high school to college was like the blog era of music. So like every Friday I'm looking on the website, like trying to see what music is dropping, what's hot. And I love that. But I felt like there's a lot of my peers are people that I knew that weren't like on the mainstream or like mainstream level that were dropping music. And I would love to hear it. I would love to showcase it. But it was like there was no space for them or whatever. So like coming back home from school, like I was like, I'm gonna start a platform that showcases these artists that are dropping music, but they necessarily don't have an outlet for them.
Yeah.
Also wanted a platform that showed the journey of artists before they got big, possibly. I want to show like the ups and downs, like it takes this much to put into this record. It's not just me just pulling out my phone and writing something in my notes and doing this, that, and the third. Like, life happens sometimes. So sometimes I got to take a break. So I wanted to showcase, how the journey, as a creative and how do you make it and how do you, make your music or make your art. Cause I don't just do artists, but like any type of creative, I just wanted them to highlight their journey and, have a space for them to share it and inspire others.
Yeah.
So that's why I created it. And the blog era just inspired me. So I was like, dang, like if music is dropping like every Friday, like all these outlets could not possibly be highlighting everybody on here. So, I just created that platform, Eargasmic Media, and it started at a park. And now we have like a whole little set.
There we go.
So it's been pretty cool.
Dope. And that's dope because like we were saying off camera, when I first met you, we did our first interview. It was at the park, and then from there you went from studio to different studios, and now at Fruition Creative Studios. But like you just said, in tracking artists' journey, I've been able to from afar and close see your progression and journey and growth every step of the way, just getting better and better and better. And that's something I feel like we as society, especially as Black people, don't talk about enough. Like just that journey and seeing people grow. Like we sometimes we love the underdog story, and then we love to see them get to the top, and then we want to see them fall. Like that's really how we are. But to like,
I hate them now.
I hate them now. Everybody like him now. He's too late in Hollywood. But like you said, it's just like I'm a big fan and big advocate of just being able to see people's journey because it's real. You know that it's real work, that time and dedication that goes into that. And that's dope.
Yeah, kudos to you for stepping out and doing that. That's something that you had aspirations even younger, or that was part in college? Like
it started in college. Like I was super shy, super timid. Like what you put me in front of camera, I don't know what I'm about to do.
I can't tell.
Like I was just very like quiet to myself. But in college, like I said, I just really loved music. Between being in the Bay for college in LA, we had like a whole underground music scene between the two. Like we had the jerking music and the hyphy movement. There were so many artists coming out of that scene that weren't getting showcased that I feel like got overlooked. That could have had so much potential, and I just wanted to create that space for them to be, highlighted or whatever. But I really went to school for nursing.
Okay.
So like I was gonna be a nurse. And then like one day I was just like, I could like my friends like, you like love music, you love like talking to people even though you're quiet. But like you have people come up to you and share your story, like you need to create something. So I was like, you know what, you're right. So I just changed my major to
you changed your major.
I changed my major to communications journalism, and I took a class where we had to like write stories and stuff, and that just like sparked so much in me that I was like, yeah, I got this. I'm about to do Eargasmic.
For having the courage to take that leap and go a different direction. Kudos on that as well.
Thank you.
And then as we know, like most of what we do in this world is storytelling, right? And so, and then there are a lot of stories that don't get told. What you're talking about. So finding that niche and then that platform and leveraging it to highlight the people that we see that are talented but just not getting the shine. So when you become, a multi million mogul, don't forget that you were on our show.
Don't forget about it.
I won't forget about it.
Stop asking if I can get an interview.
Like, Bryce, I cannot be on your record anymore.
You got to talk to my assistant.
You have to talk to my agent now, Bryce. No, I'm kidding.
Nah.
Definitely always going to show you guys
Always
some love for sure.
And one of the things, right? So we were talking about social media. I'm somebody that I'm active on social media, obviously, and promoting and selling stuff, whatever the case may be. But I see a lot of conversations, right? I may not respond or whatever, but I see a lot of stuff. I peep a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I've been seeing a lot lately is the state of the LA music rap scene. And it's so funny to me because them same conversations of people be like, man, LA rap is trash. X, Y, and Z, these rappers suck, their ass. Like, that's the same conversation that people have in the Bay. It's like, oh, if we just do this, we would get further. And it's interesting to me because LA is a place that's been known to be a music hub, entertainment hub in general. But it seems like lately that's been the conversation. Like a lot of people have been talking about it. And I'm wondering, do you feel like that's a real perspective, or is LA music rap scene in a good space in your opinion?
I feel like when people talk about LA music rap scene, they're talking about a certain handful of artists that they want to drop. Or a certain handful of artists they want to make music, or they, I want Blast, I want Kaylin, I want Vino to drop right now, and it's like, okay, I want them to drop too, but at the same time, there's more artists out here. There's more there's different sounds. There's, I feel like there's, you got to make that LA sound. What is the LA sound? Because I feel like the LA sound it ranges from so much. We got Tyler the Creator. Exactly. We got Kendrick Lamar. We got the Game. Like, we have a range of sounds. So I don't want to say like there's an LA sound, and that'll be putting people in a box too. Yeah. There's so much talent in LA. I feel like people aren't looking for it. Right. Like, I've interviewed so many talented artists that I feel like should be way bigger than what they are. But it's like people are looking for these certain handful of artists or this certain image that they're overlooking them.
Yeah, you think they're overlooking them because of the image? You think the image plays a big part too?
Yeah, I feel like LA, if you ain't really like gang banging or something like that, it's just like, you cool, but you ain't really like, what hood you from? It took people the longest to say that Tyler the Creator was from LA.
Really?
Because he's not the typical LA artist. He's different. But Tyler the Creator is from LA. Like, granted, he may be from Hawthorne or whatever sub-city y'all want to say, but he's from LA. He went to Fairfax. Like, he's from LA.
Yeah, sure.
Like, it like LA is weird like that. If you don't have that certain LA look, or if I can't be like, what high school you went to, and it's like, I don't know if they really from LA because I heard that they went to the IE, and it's like, but let them get a Grammy, then it's like, oh my God, LA artists, like they're so amazing, LA, like, and it's like, I really hate that about LA, because like we miss so much talent. Because we're just looking for this one image and this one person. And then when they skyrocket, it's like, oh, yes, they are from LA.
Yeah. I wonder if people are trained for a certain sound too. We were talking about earlier. We said this BS, and people's ears, not most people's ears are just trained to want to hear a certain sound. And to your point, there's so much talent, so much diversity. What's your boy name that does Payday LA?
Shout out El Prez.
Shout out to El Prez. Like, when you were on his platform and doing shows, and then I went to a couple shows, and every artist was dope and different, right, from women to men, and I'm like, oh, this invigorates my love for hip hop, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's not just the same.
Yeah, no.
There's all these different
But
people.
I will say some of the artists, like, their biggest downfall is that they're trying to be cool with their friends. Like, they're trying to be known in their city. Like, oh, I'm popping in LA, so that's just okay for me.
For sure.
But it's like, okay, well, can you tour on the East Coast? Yeah. And like, can you tour in the South? Like, can your music go like across the globe? And some LA artists be like, cool with just being popping in LA, and they don't go anywhere else. Yeah. So it's like
that kind of. But it's so crazy that I'm hearing you say that, because that is literally the same conversation about Bay Area music, right? Okay. We talk about one sound. Hyphy movement has dominated our existence in music ever since it popped, and this is 20, 30 years later. People are still wanting to push that narrative, and it's like that's dope. But there's so many other artists that are doing music that's not that. And to your point, unless you talking about killing somebody, unless you're talking about fucking somebody girl, unless you're talking about turning up, that's all they want to push. They don't want to hear anything else in that way. And to your point, because of our makeup of our infrastructure has always been an independent mindset. Yeah. A lot of artists is comfortable, like, no, I'm good right here. I don't care about going to other places. And it's disheartening because I've been other places in other cities all across the world. And when Bay Area music comes on, they don't want to hear it.
Oh yeah, same with LA.
Across the world.
Like I've been in like in New York, I've been in DC. They don't want to hear that. They're like, nah, this or they think hyphy. Are y'all still hyphy? Y'all ghost ride the whip still? I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. That was a time, a place, but that's not, we have to move past it. We have to give people a chance to evolve and then be open-minded. And I think lastly, like hearing you talk, I really think that as much people say they love music, the value of it, they don't value it the same way anymore. Yeah. Because of streaming, we have so much access to it, it's devalued. It's like your point.
It comes out too fast. Yeah. So I'm listening to an album today and people are already saying, nah, this not a classic. It's like, hey, it just dropped at midnight. I am confused. Like, oh no, this is whack. And it's like, well then we can't even like fully sit with the sound or album anymore because we waiting for the next one to drop. Oh, they ain't dropped in 5 years. They suck. And it's like, I don't think y'all understand how artists work. I don't think y'all understand when it comes to inspiration and everything. Like even life, life happens sometimes. So sometimes I gotta sit this down, and I feel like you said, like it just comes too fast.
Yeah, I think the internet is the driver of that. I mean, for sure. Once Napster came, and then Apple and the streaming, LimeWire. I think to your point, it became now it's coming quick. It can become disposable. And people don't really understand what it takes to do or appreciate what it takes to do a really good project and really good stuff that's going to be last. And I don't know if it's an American thing too, because there's artists. I always tell people there's artists like Exhibit who would go overseas and sell out right now.
Yeah.
Tribe Called Quest 5 years ago, they went Japan tour. It was 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And they hadn't put out a record in how long? So, but people understand and appreciate the art.
But also LA has a weird support thing. Like I've gone to a Babyface Ray concert and it's like full to the brim. Like sold out. And I'm just looking around like, where did all these now, and I'll go to a hip hop artist from LA and I'll go to their concert and it's weird to me because it was so many black people in the Babyface Ray concert, and I think I went to like a Beano concert. It was nothing but like Latinos, Asians and Latinos in there. They show love, they show out, they show up. They support all day, like from the start of your career all the way to when you're in the stadium. And like, and every time I hear the LA sound or the LA, it's always black people, and I just be like, where was y'all at such and such concert? Where was y'all at such and such? Like that, some of them will show out, but like some people, they're whack now. Like it's like they just came out. Like Blast, he don't make the LA sound no more. I'm confused at what the LA sound is, and if we want somebody to really get on the boards or the Billboard charts, they can't just stick to the LA sound. They're gonna have to go and find a different range.
That's a good point.
You know,
you got to be able to travel. You got to be able to, like you said, make music that encompasses larger audiences. And two, I think. And this is something I'm learning and like really locking in this year specifically, being like 20 years, year 20 for me, is that you artists, I think when we grow up and we do this, we have a perception of a dream of being this megastar. Like that's our dream. It's like we want to be a megastar. But the more that you do it, and the more that you realize that in order to be a megastar, there's gonna be things that you have to do that you may not want to
compromise.
So because of that, like you just said, Exhibit. Touring across the world, there's so much more to this world than the U.S.
Yeah, it's only 300 million people here.
It's 300 million people, but you can find a cult following, a fan base, and just cater to them and have a successful, thriving career. So I think we just have to, as artists too, we have to manage our expectations and really understand and really dial in what success looks like for us and what we're willing to do to get that success.
And know who you are and know what you want to do with your career. I mean, the Bay Area is a prime example. Like back Souls of Mischief, still touring overseas. E40 still doing music.
Of course.
Like there's all these artists that are still, that people would say old, beyond their prime or whatever, that are still doing stuff, still touring, still making money. And they made it a career out of it 30, 40 years later than opposed to the artists that may hit on TikTok, get real quick famous, and then they don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So, but you have to know why you're doing it, what you're doing, and know who you are, because if you don't, this industry will pull you and shift you in all kind of different directions, and bend you and spit you out. It's all kind of different directions.
Seriously. I also think gang banging has stained the LA scene. Because like there's artists that could totally collab, but they're not, because like they from that side, or they're affiliated from that side. Our labels won't take a chance on artists because they know that they're affiliated with somebody, and it's just like so, you know, I feel like
that's a part of it too.
Yeah, that's a part of the problem as well. There's so many artists I would love to collab, but they're not going to collab because they're from different hoods, or such and such knows such and such. I mean, we lost Draco over some BS about gangbanging. So you know, this is it's just that stained the artists. I think that stained our music scene as well. So
and we suffer the same thing. Politics is like, so I think that's what I would hope is like, let's be real. Like we said, like people, I hear artists from Bay Area and LA. It's like, man, get the politics out of it. But you in the politics, so you can't. You gotta like that. Politics is everything. Yeah. It's never going away. So it's like we gotta be clear.
You got politics.
Why certain things is happening. Certain people don't get certain lists because of where they from and who they affiliated with. Like, all that stuff matters, and I don't see it going anywhere. So I think we just gotta be just mindful of these things and don't just blurt out the first opinion that we think in our head. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah, because we can't expect somebody from Alabama to be writing to like some gangbang music that has some LA politics. They're not gonna know what the hell they're talking about. Like they're gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" So it's like some music is not gonna be across the board because like you're talking about, I don't know, your drive-bys and whatnot, and some people don't want to hear that all the time.
How do you? I was thinking about that, like as you were saying that. How do you? When deciding who you want to, highlight, who you want to shed light on, how are you particular or critical of what they're talking about, or is it more so, hey, I'm just here to provide a platform, so if I see you moving in that way, I'm going to support you. Like, how do you pick and choose what to support and what not?
I try my best not to be super biased because whether I like it or not, somebody out there might like it and they might pick up on it and might get a fan or something. So I try my best not to be biased. However, I try my best not to be in nobody's politics because that's just not my. I'm just here to interview. I'm just here to support, and that's about it. But I also try to be mindful of what I'm promoting. So I'm not about to promote no BS, or nothing that's just very detrimental to another human being. I'm not promoting it. I'm so sorry. Like, if it's a diss record to so and so, I'm so sorry. I don't want to. I mean, if it sounds good, I might. But I try my best to not be biased, but also just be mindful of what or who I'm posting or promoting.
Oh, got you. Yeah, so that's a good way to think about it. I feel like that's a lot. That's important.
Yeah, no, it really is. Because there's kids out there, and I want my little cousins to watch my show too. So, so I try to be mindful of what I'm promoting and posting and all that.
Thank you for doing that.
No problem.
I was in D.C. about 5 years ago, and somebody introduced me to a guy. He said, "You got to meet this guy," and I met him, and we sit down and I talk about what you do. And he said, "I'm a futurist," and I was like, "A futurist? Like what is that?" I studied futurism in college in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And it's basically strategically looking at what you're going to do 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the line and building a plan around that. So I'll take this question for you, this last question, to say, where do you want to see Eargasmic go in 5 years? Like, where do you want to see it? What's your aspirations there?
Great question.
That's a really great question because the last 5 years, I did not see me getting a set and all this stuff. In the next 5 years, I definitely would like for us to be like on either make our platform bigger to where it's like on a show, like on an actual TV show, you can like tune in to your guys at such time, or like I have built the platform so much that I have my own momentum to build my own like show, and I can have my own channel or whatever. But I definitely want to see bigger. I want it to be more than just LA. I want to expand it to across the US, even international as well. I would like to showcase different artists, different creatives journey, entrepreneurs and all that to show like, even I just did interview somebody in the community. Like I would like to showcase all creatives walks of life, but I definitely would like for us to be bigger so that more people can view it, see it, and so that people who do come on the platform get more exposure. I would love for artists. I would love to hear like, yeah, I discovered this artist off of Eargasmic,
right.
and this is how they got their record deal. Like, I would love for that one day to happen. Be like, yeah, I seen them perform on your TV show, and I had to sign them. Like, I would definitely want that. At least a handful of artists to be like signed from Eargasmic performance, and that would be hard. Like, y'all don't even got to give me a cut.
There we go. There we go.
I just would love to see it.
Sure.
But yeah, and then also I would love to like. I'm very nervous about that part. I was talking to him about possibly doing an Eargasmic pop-up, but hopefully in the next 5 years doing like an Eargasmic festival or something.
There we go.
You know, something.
If you're nervous, then that's what you should be doing.
Yes.
That means that those things that scare you are going to help you grow.
Yes,
right?
I would love to do like a festival where the community can come out. I have artists come out and perform. We have vendors and all that stuff where it's, you know, competing with Rolling Loud. What's up?
There we go. There we go.
It's different.
You know,
from your lips to God's ears.
Yes,
for real.
amen.
I can see that. I see that too, and I see that, and I feel like you have an advantage in a lot of other platforms because of the purpose that you're doing it. Like why you're doing it is important, and that's gonna carry you further than anything else. I feel like so. All of the stuff that you see for yourself. It will happen. You have the access. You have people. I'm gonna do whatever I can to be support Pops as well.
Thank you.
And so yeah, we definitely are excited to see the future of Eargasmic Media. I need another interview, by the way.
I got you.
Where can people find you?
You can find me at Tyler Khimani, TYLERKHIMANI, or you can find me at Eargasmic. That's at EARGAZMIC Media.
Yep.
You can also find us on YouTube.
There we go.
You can find me on TikTok, acting a fool or something. Yeah, that's where you can find us: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and I'm gonna try to get on other social media sites. I just be so over social media.
So many people.
Yes, but yes, that's where you can find me.
Sure. Well, thank you. Thank you for being a part of the show.
Yes, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate this.
Like,
it was a great conversation.
We're fans.
Yes.
And like all them plans that you talked about, however we can help and support, we're here to do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I love what you guys are doing. I love the podcast. I love the dad and son dynamic. It's so cute.
Thank you.
But it's a great conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Appreciate it. And that being said, it's a wrap. Episode 6, Father and the Son, 50 years of hip hop, Tyler Khimani, Eargasmic Media. We out.
We out.